Hi and welcome to another battle report. This is a 2500 points civil war in Empire. I'm meeting my friend Simon and his army from Reikland and Altdorf, and my army is from Talabheim. As for his list, to his right he have 8 knights with lance, then he have a cannon and another cannon, and he have a bunker of halberdiers, 30 of them, with his level 4 Lord of Life in it. He have Dwellers Below, Shield of Thorns, Throne of Vines, and Awakening the Woods. To that halberdier unit he have detachment of 10 handgunners and another 10 handgunners detachment. In front of that he have a horde of 50 great swords with his BSB and his general, which is a warrior priest. And for his left flank he have 30 great swords with a warrior priest in it and a captain. And as for his far left he have 8 knights with great weapon. On my left flank, this is after vanguard, I have 5 pistoliers, a mortar, a horde of 40 flagellants. Just out of this picture, to my left I have a cannon, then I have 50 swordsmen with my witch hunter, which have targeted his general, my BSB and my general of an empire. Then I have 12 handgunners with my level 4 in it, then a Hellstorm with an engineer in it, and 10 more handgunners with Hochland. And then I have in the corner I have another mortar, and then for my right flank I have 5 pistoliers who have vanguarded. As for spell, I have a level 4 of Beast, and I get Wild Form, Amber Spear, Curse, and Savage Beast. For his movement phase he pushes up his greatswords and his bunker and handgunners. He just move his knights a little bit. And for his other flank he have his greatsword, who pushes up a bit, and his knights, who he just push up a little bit. The great thing about having pistoliers that you vanguard forward is that he doesn't send forward his knights very far, so I actually, with 2 small pistolier unit, keep his 2 more expensive knights units away from my line. In magic phase he throw Dwellers Below on my pistolier with a miscast, and he kill 2 of them. I pass my panic test, but then he roll a 10 on the miscast table and loses 2 wizard level, loses Dwellers and Shield of Thorn. And this is just showing that his cannon target my cannon and kill it in his shooting phase. For my first turn I pushes up my flagellant a bit, and I keep my pistoliers within a 19 inch from his unit, so he will need a double 6 to make that charge on my pistoliers. For my right flank I take my pistoliers out of firing range from his handgunners. Since he only have a level 2, I get a very strong magic phase. First I get off the Curse on the greatsword hole, then Wild Form on my flagellant unit, and with a few dice over I throw a spear at his greatsword. In shooting phase I aim for his greatsword and kill a bunch of them. For Simon's second turn he pushes up his knights with great weapon on his right flank, which I think is a good decision, and he steps backwards with his greatsword 2 inches. On his other flank he'd go a little bit slow because I have cursed the greatsword unit, so they only move up 4 inches. The same goes with handgunners and halberdiers, they don't move a lot forward. He pushes up his knights a bit on my right flank. in his magic phase, he get off from a vines on his level 2 wizard, and his first cannon try to take down my Hellstorm, but he undershot and only killed 2 of my handgunners. The other cannon takes out my mortar in the corner. For my turn 2, I take up my pistoliers to block his knight with great weapon to charge my flagellant, and in the shooting phase I take down one of them with my pistols. And on the other flank I do the exact same thing, but I manage to take down 2 of his knights this time, but he passes his panic test. My flagellants fail a charge on his greatsword, and the greatswords eat and mortar shots and take 5 casualties in the shooting phase. I take out my witch hunter trying to snipe out his general, but I fail. But the Hellstorm and the mortar do his best and firing at his greatsword and do a lot of wounds on them. So for his turn number 3, he takes his knights into my pistoliers on his right flank. I didn't manage to kill anything on standing shoot. And he do the same on the other flank, and I didn't manage to kill anything on standing shoot this time either. He pushes up his halberdiers into that forest, which is a blood forest, and in his magic phase he throws Awakening the Wood at my handgunners and killing 5 of them. But I passes my panic test, and the forest moves forward and kills 2 of his halberdiers. I loses 2 swordsmen from handgunner fire. One of his cannon snipes out my mortar, and the other one takes 4 out of 5 wound out of my Hellstorm. His knights on this flank crushes my pistoliers without suffering any casualties. And on this flank he killed my pistoliers, but I managed to kill 1 of his knights. For my turn 3, my flagellants failed another charge on his greatsword, so now they are in a really bad position. The good thing is they are next to a forest, so maybe some of his knights will die trying to charge my flank. My witch hunter jumps back into the swordsman unit, which I pushes up a bit. My 4 left handgunners run into the forest, hoping for his knights to charge him in the flank to take some dangerous terrain test. In the magic phase I get of wild form on my swordsman unit, and I uses the Amber Spear to kill 2 of his knights, but he passes his panic test and stays on the board. And in my shooting phase I managed to take down his greatsword a bit more with my Hellstorm. I kill enough to make him take a panic check, which he fails, which is actually really bad for me, because now I can't get to that big unit and they are like almost dead and I don't have any range attacks left. For his turn 4, he did a smart thing and take the halberdiers into my handgunners instead of his knights, and he just moves his knights around to my flank. This charge really hurt. He got in the flank with his knights, only 1 failing the dangerous terrain test, and his greatsword in the front at my flagellants. This picture just shows where his knight went, and as you can see the Hellstorm is gone because he shot it down with his cannon. 4 of my swordsmen die from handgunner fire. And the casualties after this combat is I lose, 16 flagellants. I kill 2 of them myself. I kill 3 of his knights in my flank. I kill 5 of his greatsword, both his warrior priest and his captain. I lose combat, so I lose frenzy, but I am unbreakable and I will stick around. As for my turn 4, his halberdiers have break my handgunners, but didn't manage to kill them, and he did manage to catch them when he ran after them. So the handgunner ran and set himself straight in front of the knight unit. In the magic phase, I managed to get off the wild form on my flagellants, trying to make them survive. But it worked poorly, as you can see. A lot of flagellants are dead. I killed 2 of them myself, I think. But also his unit are starting to take a lot of beatings. For his turn, this is actually turn 5. He do, I think, a little bit unnecessary risk, because instead of just shooting his halberdier at the lone handgunners to make him flee off the table, he takes his knights into this lone handgunners and have to take a redirect test, which he obviously passed to get into the flank of my handgunners. But Simon managed to make it anyway, so it doesn't really matter in the long run. So my handgunner breaks and run. He didn't pursue, because then if he would have pursued, he would have hit the flank of my swordsman and would have been killed in combat. And for my turn 5, I turn my swordsman around to fight his line. And in combat, I have the wild form on my flagellants, but it didn't help. I only have 3 of them left, but they only have like 5 great swords left and 2 great weapon knights. So in his combat phase number 6, he kills my flagellants. Even though I got the curse on his greatsword, it didn't help. The last thing to happen in this Warhammer battle is my swordsman charge his halberdiers. They fail the charge, and he didn't hit the table edge. So that's it. That's the game. Final thought on the game is that I think it was a very interesting game, and if his greatsword didn't flee, I think I could have taken him, and it would have been a more even game. Actually, he won by like 1,000 points in victory points, but we were preparing for a tournament that is very high comped. So I have a 19 comp list, and he didn't know that it was high comp, so we have a 9 point something list. So his comp score was like 10 lower than mine, so bear that in mind, he have a better list than me. But even so, he did a great game, and Simon won fair and square. And in this civil war, the Reikland / Altdorf army takes the win of the Talabheim city. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.